Okay, so this is my sort of thoughts on the Sealey SMS01 drill sharpening jig that's currently being sold. It's previously been known in the UK as the Picador number 9 drill sharpening jig, and in America as the General 825 drill sharpening rig. And I've only seen on most YouTube videos, you will see the drill being sharpened on the side face of the grinding wheel. Now it was actually in the, I've read the instructions on the older models, and it did advise to take light, you know, to grind lightly on the side face of the wheel. That was actually in the instructions. And obviously, if you've done metal work at school or shop or at any training, you're always told never to use the side face of a grinding wheel. Why not? Because it's not designed to use the side face. When you use the side face, you undercut it and weaken it, so you can't dress it. It gets thinner. Any groove you cause there's nothing supporting the grinding wheel from there to there. So what happens when a grinding wheel breaks up? Now, my experience of a grinding wheel breaking up was with a slitting disc on a handheld angle grinder with no guard fitted, and it wasn't very nice. It all broke up and hit me in the thumb. So as a result of that, I always keep some Swedish steel blades, saw blades, you know, of a coarse tooth capacity that can saw through any sort of thickness of metal, no problem. And this is just for cutting through hardened steel, and I only use it when I really need to, you know, when I can't really saw through this type of. So what happens when one of these wheel breaks up? What type of forces are we talking about? Well, the wheel, 5-inch wheel, 125 millimeters or 0.125 meters, turning at 11,000 RPM. That does 1.25 times 11,000 times 60 for minutes to make it an hour. It's doing 82,500 meters per hour, which is 82.5 kilometers per hour, or 51 miles an hour when it breaks off. When it breaks off, that grinding wheel hits you at 51 miles an hour. Now, it weighs 10 grams approximately, and it's moving. So could you maybe move your thumb out of the way? Well, it'll travel 10 centimeters in 0.004. In 4 thousandths of a second, it'll travel 10 centimeters, and your reaction times are 250 milliseconds. So you're not going to move your hand out of the way. G's, how many G's does it pull when it breaks up? It's no linear movement. It's got a rotational movement, but it's no linear movement. And then it hits you in the thumb at 82.5 kilometers per hour, and it travels in 4 thousandths of a second. So your G's are 580 G's it's pulling, which is, it's only very light. Don't forget, it only weighs, we're saying 10 grams, but that's 5.8 newtons, which is like 25 pounds. So it's like, you imagine that on top of your thumb with a 25 pound weight on it, and then you pull your thumb out, it's going to hurt. So that's my experience with breaking up grinding wheel. Now, of course, a bench grinder, it doesn't spin at 11,000 RPMs. It's on the back here. It's probably a tenth of that. But the grinding wheel probably weighs 20 times more than that grinding wheel. So when it breaks up, it's going to have twice. It's going to have twice the kinetic energy of that grinding wheel. Now, I have seen just one person actually using the front face of a grinding wheel. Great. Now, some have said it doesn't. It gives a slightly convex or concave cut to the grind to the tip, who cares, it'll still work, it's not going to break up. But what else, another way you could effectively use the tool safely would be to use one of these, and this is a Sealey. Sorry, this isn't focusing very well, unfortunately I've smashed the lens. A Sealey belt disc sander. These belts cost about £1.20 a piece, 10 for £12, $1 a piece. If that breaks up, it's a slap, it flaps you. It's not like a shotgun blast. So that's it. Oh, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I've broken the lens on my camera, so this might not. No, it won't focus, but I can assure you that looks good to me. And bought this for, I think I paid £50 for it second hand off Facebook. Had a seize wheel there. Left the case off just to, and it bolts in nicely at the bottom. Perfect. And it's very safe. So, the Picador number 9 drill bit sharpening rig stock General 825.